Hello, YME community. Superintendent Rich Schneider and Crystal Eniga. We're together today to start reviewing our data from this week. Wish I had better news for you folks, but as you'll see throughout our presentation, things look a little bit dim for right now. We are in the midst of a spike. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our 14-day case count is. This is the most accurate data because they have the most time to have scrubbed this out. As you can see, we continue to go up. In fact, all of the counties have gone up in our area. And these are all, again, these are the counties in which we have students coming from, and that's rank ordered. So we have the most, obviously, from Yellow Medicine County, second is Chippewa County, and so on down the line. But you can see some pretty dramatic increases there. Not showing up there is, you'll see Renville County. That's because they are number 3 there in our population. That number is going up, and I really expect it to continue to go up. But you can also see down there at the bottom, Lyon County, Marshall area, that's a fairly populated area, that's gone up dramatically too. Again, recommended model is distance learning, which we are still in. This kind of shows to you where we're headed as a state. We're shifting there to the right. There are no counties in the lower 3 tiers of this. So all counties are shifting more towards the right with the spiking cases. Taking a look at our daily situation, I'm sorry I have the date 11/12 on there, but it's actually yesterday's data. We had 7 new cases in Yellow Medicine County. Total cases for the week increased, or they went up 65, 1 new death over the week. Chippewa County had 6 cases yesterday. Their total over the week increased by 87 and 1 death. Renville County, new cases just yesterday was 25. They went up 147. So that's kind of why I'm telling you that 14-day number is going to increase. And they also saw 3 new deaths over the past week. Active case data, then this is what's actually active from the Countryside Public Health. This data is pretty accurate, but it's not perfect. It's getting closer. It was updated actually yesterday. I forgot to update that date there also, but we had 97 cases were active yesterday. So that increased by 13 from the previous week. So we have more active cases. Chippewa County, as I mentioned last week, will continue to go up. They did go up this week by 24. Lac-Carle, dramatic increase, and there's that number. Again, that's a good indicator that their 14-day case count will go up for Renville County. They went up by 89 over the past week, and their population is less than the population of Yellow Medicine County. Staff and student data throughout the school year. We've had 95 staff members or 95 incidents amongst our staff. That went up by 20 over the past week. Total positive staff, this was yesterday, and I can already tell you from this morning and late last evening, this will not be the case next week. So I already have additional cases amongst our staff to report for next week. Total student COVID-related absences, we are in distance learning. It's 140 for BRE, that grew by 4, even though we were in distance learning. Middle school, high school grew by 5. Total student positive, district-wide, 15, that grew by 2 over the past week. So, and we do appreciate families calling in and letting us know this information. It's valuable for us so we can kind of anticipate what's going to happen if we come back to in-person learning. Current active data, this was as of yesterday, we had 6 students in our middle school, high school, so relatively low percent, 11 students in our BRE that are active. This is our county, or not our county, our zip code data. You can see Granite Falls grew by 26, Canby by 35, a little bit more of a problem over in Canby than there is here in Granite Falls, but still a problem. Clarkfield grew by 7, Hanley Falls by 3, Echo is starting to see a little bit of growth there. That's particularly concerning when their population is as low as it is. Porter saw no change. Wood Lake grew by 6 and Montevideo grew by 53, leading me to believe that Montevideo and Chippewa County are going to stay high for a while. And so our two largest populated counties, we kind of keep track with our daily reports and try and monitor that. But the top one is the Department of Health's number. Yellow Medicine County, 127.69, and Chippewa County was below us at 112.41. I do not anticipate Chippewa County is going to stay below us. We will grow again next week, nearly 100% for certain, and Chippewa County is going to see a spike also. Expected in 2 weeks, this data, kind of real time, this is stuff as best we can to be as accurate. That number, I'm nearly 100% sure will grow also, because as MDH scrubs things in, add things out, it's valuable. I'm going to show you then where you can find the dashboard in 2 places. So Crystal has put it down here on our website on the lower left-hand corner. So here's our home website. You can go down here. This is our dashboard. Remember, it's only updated to the date that's on there. We've been busy this morning, so it's not been updated as of today. So my apologies. You can also find it on our virtual health office, which Cassie maintains. There's a tab along the top. This is what that health office looks like. A lot of great information here. If you have questions, please shoot them to Cassie or I. We'll try and address them. We have connections with both Countryside Public Health and MDH to try and get those answered. And positivity rate, this was something I've mentioned the last couple of weeks about how this is important, and we are starting to see it. So a local healthcare provider said this is something for us to really watch because it's concerning. And so you can see, and this is already old data, but you can see Yellow Medicine County is positivity rate is even above the state. So what positivity rate can tell you in my research, what I'm finding out is that's telling you the number of people that are positive. So in the case of Yellow Medicine County, we'll round that up. If 100 people were tested, roughly 16 of them are turning up positive. And what that tells you is that that's likely to indicate to us that we even have greater spread than what we're identifying. And so we have to reach out a little bit further and kind of understand that we play a greater role in our community. And this data right here is enough to prove that to you. We are seeing it. We are seeing it amongst our students and our staff. So I meet almost weekly with our regional support team. And so yesterday we met at 1 o'clock after the 14-day data was out, and they recommended a 2-week decision. And so whatever we would want to do, we should do for 2 weeks, because that's basically the incubation period of COVID-19. So whatever we were going to decide, they encouraged us to do it for 2 weeks. We should consider in our decision the spread that's happening in our community and what could happen as a result of the holiday. Now, I know folks are going to probably be tempted to get together as families or large gatherings for the holiday, because that's tradition in the United States here, and especially in the Midwest here, we like to gather. We like to get together and socialize. Well, this is probably not the time to make those decisions. I would discourage you from doing that. The other things that we talked about is they pointed out, would it cause us to revert back to distance learning very quickly? I know families And staff members and students like consistency too, but I think what they'd like for consistency is to be able to bring the kiddos in. Well, unfortunately, what I see in our staff, especially after this morning, I'm not confident I could have people in those classrooms to even supervise, even if the teacher was teaching remotely or we were providing those services remotely. I'm not confident I can get anybody in there to sub and sit with the students during that time. So that's hard on us. There are unknowns when we return to the building. We don't know what's really existing amongst some of our students, especially, but to some extent our staff members. And when we come back, that could reveal some things to us. That could be quite telling. We know that there is community spread. So I have a meeting monthly where I meet with Yellow Medicine County representatives. And yesterday they reported that Granite Falls Health was at hospital capacity. So, you know, we have to monitor that. We play a role in that and we do impact that. We're starting to see greater symptoms, and sometimes people with other symptoms need to go to the hospital for other things. Say you fall and break your hip, or you have appendicitis, you need to go to the hospital. They can't necessarily provide that care when the resources are used for other things, such as severe COVID cases. I also talked to a local healthcare provider that said that the symptoms they're seeing in COVID positive patients are becoming more severe. They're starting to see more dramatic and more impactful health conditions in all age groups. So he said they have a spattering of it. So it's not just limited to the older patients. They're starting to see these problems elsewhere. So with that, during our meeting, the Department of Health 100% supported staying in DL due to our community spread and a variety of other things. At that point, I don't know that I had enough evidence to say that the staff would have been impacted, but after this morning, I would say it is impacted. As you know, this week, the governor did announce that he is suspending youth activities. So just a little bit of clarification, our volleyball season will wrap up today. We have one last home match today, and then that season will be over. Section football is playing, but YME is not participating any longer. We lost on Tuesday night. Gyms and exercise or weight rooms will be closed, including school. So you won't be able to rent our facilities. You won't be able to use our facilities at all. That was clear in his executive order. We're looking for a little bit more guidance from the Minnesota State High School League. We're expecting that sometime today. Mr. Knapper will probably report that out to you as it impacts you. So with that, looking at the data, last night we decided to stay in distance learning through 12/4. We will meet again as an incident command team, or we may have a special board meeting to look at what we're going to do in the future. I included that in my announcement letter because I want you folks to be planning ahead that this could be a little bit longer of a decision. I'm not saying I'm trying to scare you or anything like that, but this may be taken out of our hands by a number of factors, including the governor. He may change his decision. So please be mindful of that and put your plan Bs in effect. A few reminders, please communicate with us if you or your student is experiencing any symptoms. We want to make sure and try and contain that as much as possible. If you let us know, we'll work with you. That helps us in our decision-making process. And remember, here's the things that you can do that truly impact it. Wear a mask, social distance, and stay home if you're not feeling well. If at all, I have a headache, stay home. All right, let's not gamble with it and then cause this to be a greater burden for our students and our schools. Okay. Crystal, do you have a few questions or comments?
I sure do. Rich, I know we got an email earlier this week about some free testing. Do you want to just touch base on that?
Okay, so I believe I sent out some information about where you can, late last week, I believe it was even last Friday, about the free testing. Make sure you participate in that. That's a great opportunity, especially with the saliva testing, but many of the area armories, National Guard armories are participating in this testing, and I believe Morris is our closest site. If I know my geography good enough here in Minnesota, I believe that will be our closest site. But if you have questions about that, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to connect you to that.
Yep. If you, just a reminder, I was just looking at my notes here. If you have family members that are being tested or have been, if they have been tested because of their symptoms, just a reminder to keep your students home until you, find out the actual results. It just helps us immensely as well. And just the other reminder you touched base on already, just reminder you that you are the only person that can take care of you. So wash your hands, wear your mask, avoid large crowds, all of that good stuff. Set an example for our students, because I know there's little eyes and little ears all over the place, and they are watching what you do. So just set a good example. And as far as that, I don't have any other questions. I just have a shout out I would like to give
Oh
to
yes, a huge shout out. So
hear that.
yeah, no, you tell them. Awesome.
Yeah, no, this week in the district, we were celebrating American Education Week, and the PTO was extremely generous and donated a beautiful cookie. It was as delicious as it was adorable. So all of our staff members throughout the district, everybody from an admin to secretaries to custodial to the kitchen staff to teachers, parents, everybody was kind of spoiled rotten. And Falls Boutique assisted us with the packaging of the cookies as well. So we appreciate that. And then yesterday we were surprised with a very generous donation from Olmix Market. So Brett and Danielle and their crew, please thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because that was above and beyond what anybody could have asked for. So we appreciate you more than anything. So that's all I have today.
Yeah, folks, if you have questions, please email them to one of us. We'll take a look at them, and if there's something that would be good topics for this video, we'll add them in here. So thank you, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, enjoy Thanksgiving, but make sure you make good choices there. Thank you. Have a great week.